Well, welcome to the show. This is Nicole Sattler from Nourish Nutrition, and I'm glad that you guys are here. Even if I stay frozen, hopefully you can still see her, and it'll still roll, and she can keep talking to you while I pop on and off here. But Nicole, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me. So excited to be here again.
I'm too. So before we get to some of the goodies here, I want you to start with your story. And there we go. I want you to start with your story and tell us a little bit more about who you are, what's your journey like, what's your health journey like, and how did you create Nourish Nutrition?
Okay. So my health journey has definitely evolved over the last, 10 plus years. But in 2007, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And since then, it has changed to Crohn's, but it's a digestive disease, autoimmune disease nonetheless. And I did the traditional conventional medicine route for 2+ years. So I did lots of medications and all sorts of things, and it just really didn't seem like I was getting better. The medication kind of put a Band-Aid on things, but I didn't really feel any better or worse. And that's kind of when I thought, I'm going to learn a little bit more about my disease and see if there's things that I can do naturally to heal my body. Because at the time, and granted, this was in 2007, so, a lot has changed since then, but there wasn't a ton of information out there. So I really had to do some research, and I found a really great local doctor here to help me. But they said, food doesn't have anything to do with your disease. And that just didn't make sense to me. I just thought, how can that be possible when I have a digestive disorder or disease? How does food not play a role in that? So I decided to kind of take matters into my own hands and become my own health advocate. And I changed my diet and lifestyle, and I was able to get off my medications, and I've since been off of those medications. So I've not taken any steroids or disease modifying drugs since then. And then I thought, man, it was so difficult for me to try and find answers about my disease. And, once I did start to feel better, what do I eat? I kind of had some guidelines, but, guidelines are a little bit different than actually going to the store and figuring out, oh, this product is full of junk and this product is great. So it took some trial and error, and I love to cook. I grew up in the restaurant industry. My dad was a chef and owned restaurants. And so I love to be in the kitchen. And I just thought, man, what if I could go back to school and help people kind of navigate this journey, and not necessarily with an autoimmune disease, but any sort of gut health issue, because I can completely relate to what they're going through. And so I went to school and got my master's in nutrition so that I could help people basically navigate their health journey as well.
That's awesome. And I remember sitting down with you and just learning about your journey and how you wanted to just help so many people that were out there. And I think it's really cool. And I like having you having that background of, like you said, your dad cooked a lot. He was a chef, because it really came into play with how you created your business. And so, with that, what did you do with Nourish Nutrition? What did you decide that you wanted to do?
Well, let's just say it's still evolving. Initially, I thought it was going to be more one-on-one clients. And for the first couple years, it was quite a bit of that. But then I realized that I can make a greater impact by helping groups of people, and also wanting to really help people with the actual nitty-gritty cooking part, because there's so much that you can tell somebody and recommend, but then once they get home, it's overwhelming to know, what do I buy? How do I cook this? Is my family going to eat it? Is it going to taste good? And so then it's kind of evolved into not only doing the one-on-one, appointments and things like that, but then also doing corporate wellness. I've teamed up with the Pilates studio that I belong to, and I've done quite a few challenges with them throughout the years. And so lots of different things, and it's kind of evolved. I've actually also done a couple cooking classes, but that's a little bit trickier. But I mean, I love to cook, and hoping that maybe someday I can do some more cooking classes and more corporate wellness and just more of all the things.
Talk to us a little more about what you're growing, and hopefully I can get up these pictures soon about your beautiful Instagram page. I love following you because of some of just the way you make food look. It's beautiful, and I share it all the time on different groups that I'm part of. That it just makes it look inviting, and it's not only the food that you create to make it look beautiful, but just your Instagram page is visually appealing with some of the things that you're doing. And so I want people to learn a little bit more about you, and to just talk to us a little more about what you're growing with your Facebook, your Instagram, and then also a new group that you're doing.
Yeah. So just to add to what you were saying about food, I mean, we eat with our eyes first, right? So if it looks visually appealing, we're going to want to eat it. So I love cooking with lots of colors, and I think it makes it more fun to not only is it more nourishing for your body to eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, but it's also very pleasing to the eye. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's up there. So what I'm doing with my social media, I mean, it's evolving, but I love sharing recipes and tips and, why certain foods are important to get in your diet and how you can get your kiddos to eat more fruits and vegetables. And I recently started a Facebook group called the Nourished Recipe Collective. Yep, there you go. And I just kind of thought, since the whole coronavirus started, we're all cooking at home a lot more, which is beautiful, because that means we're actually sitting down together and enjoying our meals. But it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning, and sometimes you just can't think of another meal to make because you're just so over it. So the idea kind of came, my girlfriend and I were had a text message thread of, what are you making? Like, please send me some ideas, because I am just overwhelmed. We're bored. We're just need help. So then I thought, okay, this is so helpful, because my girlfriend is obviously sharing recipes that I want to now make. Why don't we do this together? Because I'm sure the collective group has some really fantastic recipes that they want to share. So it's a free group to just join on Facebook. I'd love it if you join, and we're just sharing recipes. So a great way to get some inspiration, or also share some if you have a moment where you're finding some recipes that you really love and your family loves, and please share.
Yeah, I love that too. And you've definitely tried to categorize it, I've noticed so far, kind of into like breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, things like that. And so
Yes.
I've been noticing some really cool recipes and some really good engagement in that group. So I'm hoping that people can kind of join in that group and just get some really helpful tips. What about, I know the last time I had you on, you had some great tips about just shopping. And I know that, when you work with some of your clients, it kind of starts with what they're going to the grocery store with, and then how, especially because we're only able to go to the grocery store a few times, we're trying to, at least for most people, are trying to do it, at least once a week or so. What's the best way to kind of keep your food as fresh as possible, especially if you want to try to get some of these more natural whole foods?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So in our last live, I know I shared a blog post, and if you want to read this in detail, feel free to go to my blog, and I think it's under healthy eating during times of uncertainty or something like that. But it's a blog post that basically gives you a ton of resources as far as how to save food for food storage. You're right. Like, we're only going to the store once a week, maybe sometimes less. And how can we keep those fruits and vegetables fresh throughout the whole week? And what are some ideas? So there's some really great tips on that. I think it's going to be nice to have the farmers markets open again. I think they all open this coming weekend. So that will be a great way to not only support our local farmers, but to also get fresh local produce that will last longer than what you're going to typically get in the store, because they're picking this stuff and then bringing it to the farmer's market. So that's another really great way. But I think just learning about different storage tips and tricks has really helped me.
Yeah. And now I know that you have a few things I think that you have prepared to
Yes.
kind of show us about some easy ways to make some different dishes. So I'm going to let you take over on
Great.
that part.
So I'm going to move. So you're going to, hopefully nobody gets motion sick here. Here's my kitchen. Okay. So let's see if you guys can see here. So you can kind of see. Okay.
Yeah, you keep talking. I'm going to pop out and come back in and see if this unfreezes a little bit here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, so what I've put together today is just a couple really easy ideas for you so that you're not having to reinvent the wheel every single day. I know kids are going to be out of school here soon, which is great, but then you still have kids who need to eat 3 meals a day with snacks. So one thing that I've actually done, and I just kind of wanted to point this out, is I've been doing snack plates for lunches, and it's really saved me the headache of trying to come up with, what to eat for lunch. So I'm trying to do this at least for 1 meal a day, and my kids will graze on all of this. And I've got lots of good ideas, but I'll just kind of show you, like tonight's actually ended up almost being like a rainbow type color, but I've got like a mixture of fruits and vegetables. I've got some protein with some turkey here, and then some hummus, and then some pistachios. I made a couple cutout sandwiches. But this is just a fun way for the kids to just kind of grab things as they go. You're back.
That looks amazing. I'm watching on my phone as I left and came back. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, this is so simple. This honestly, as long as you have this stuff on hand, this honestly takes maybe even less time than it would to prepare individual plates for your kids. And then they just kind of graze and eat as they go. And at least you know that you're giving them something healthy and colorful and full of fiber and good stuff for them. So some ideas for a snack plate. So I kind of broke it down to like fruits and vegetables, I think are important. So berries, apples, slices, oranges, grapes, things that are just easy to eat. Vegetables, whatever your family likes. My kids will legitimately eat any kind of vegetable I throw at them, so that's great. But tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, let's see, carrots, that's great. And then the other categories are kind of like dips. So you could do hummus, guacamole. You could do a nut butter if your kids really like apple slices with nut butter, salsa, salad dressings, yogurt would be another one. And then like what I'm considering a main. So this would be, sandwich cutouts, or I think in the one that I shared on Instagram, I had made these little meatballs, and they're good cold or warmed up. So I had the meatballs on our snack plate. You could do deli meats, cheese cubes if you do that. You could grill, some brats or sausages or hot dogs and cut those up. You can do hard-boiled eggs.
On your plate, can you hold it up again and show everybody? And what was on your plate that you had? It looked like hummus and some veggies.
Yeah, so I've got just a ton of different fruits and vegetables. We've got strawberries, apples, red bell pepper, some cherry tomatoes, carrots, an orange and a yellow pepper, some sugar snap peas, some blueberries here. Okay. These are just some little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Some little turkey slices, hummus, and then just some crackers.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm watching that on my phone.
Okay.
That looks really, really good. Okay.
Nice. And then besides, the mains and the dips and the fruits and vegetables, you can get creative with the other stuff. I mean, if you like, your kids like olives or pickles, let's see what else I have on here. Popcorn, mini muffins, nuts and seeds like I had on here. The best, if you need some inspiration for this, my best suggestion is to just go online, either to Pinterest or just do a Google search for snack plates or grazing boards, because that's going to give you a ton of inspiration. I mean, I feel like the whole idea of a grazing plate is so trendy right now. You can even find some really cool brunch grazing plates where, you know, they've got waffles and sausage and like some syrup in the middle. I mean, how fun would that be for the weekend? I mean, that's a little
Wow.
bit more effort that I want to put in the morning right now, but there's so many great ideas out there.
I love that they're calling it grazing plates because I
Yeah.
always feel like using the term grazing is kind of like, oh my gosh, like I'm eating all day long, you know?
Oh,
But
well,
if it's healthy and seriously, like the plate that you showed and you held up looks so colorful and yummy and healthy that I feel like even kids that may not necessarily eat that would eat that, you know?
yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Well, and
awesome.
back to that. People always ask me, how do you get your kids to eat that? And truly getting them involved is probably one of the best suggestions that I've got. So whether, I mean, obviously we're probably not voluntarily taking all of our kids to the grocery store right now, but just getting them involved in either the preparation or choosing what they want, you know, ask, you know, I used to tell people, you know, when you're at the grocery store, tell your kiddos, look, find something that's new that you
Mm,
want to try and let's take it home and find a way to fix it. So if you can get them involved and give them a buy-in, they are more willing to try things.
that's a
And then
great
obviously
idea.
making it visually interesting. They love this.
Mhm.
What are
Yeah.
some other good tips? I mean, changing it up texturally and the shapes. I know my kids, Isabella will eat raw carrots, but she doesn't like cooked carrots. So
Huh.
just keep trying. You know, that's my biggest advice is keep trying and get your kids involved and eventually, oh, and lead by example. You can't never eat a
True.
vegetable and expect your kids to eat vegetables. So that's
That's
another
so
great
true.
tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love the colors, like, in your kitchen, and I'm just, like, staring at that vegetable, you know, like, it's one of every single color, and I love it. I'm gonna see if I can get this back up at some point here, yeah, and
Yeah.
just to show Nicole's Instagram page, you know, she does such a great job, like I was saying. I mean, look at how she gives some great information, but she, like I said, she makes things visually appealing, like, not just because, you know, we're filming in her kitchen and she's showing us stuff, but these are actually some of the recipes, and she's got recipes in her Instagram. So if you go to, I believe it's at Nourish Nutrition CO.
Yes.
Okay, then, you know, enjoy some of the stuff that she puts out there because it's so beautiful. And it's not just that it's visually appealing, but it's also, you know, something where she's got recipes. So she shares everything as well.
Yeah.
Okay, is there something else that you were going to kind of demo as well today?
Yeah, so I actually put together, I made some batch cooked vegetables, but I was also going to chop some up and just show you how I prepare my vegetables. And
Okay.
this is one of the biggest tips. This saves me so much time at the beginning of the week. If I can batch cook, just roasting or grilling, whichever method you prefer. I mean, I love that it's nice outside and we can start grilling again. But I typically just roast like 2 sheet pans full of vegetables, and I can show you the one that I've already done.
Mhm.
But it's so easy to have that on hand. So then what you can do with those vegetables is you can turn that into, you know, obviously a side for whatever you're making, but you can also put it in an egg scramble. You can put it in egg muffins. You can put it in a pasta, a stir fry. I've got a really great detailed blog post about grain bowls and how you can truly, you know, have
Ooh.
similar meal components, but make
Mhm.
a variety of different meals just with using the same ingredients. So, or the same meal components. So I was just going to kind of show you how I do this because people always say, your vegetables taste so much better.
Huh.
What do you do to them? And there's truly no, I mean, I don't think that there's a secret, so I'm just going to show you. But some of the tips that I would say is to don't overcook them, especially if you're going to try and use them throughout the week. Maybe undercook them a little bit so that they still
Mhm.
retain some of their crispiness throughout the week. You don't want to crowd your pan. And maybe let me actually grab the one I made before. So these were kind of roasted earlier, but you don't want to crowd the pan because then when you crowd the pan, you're actually steaming the vegetables and they're not going to get that like super, I mean,
Ah.
these maybe could have gone another minute or two, but some of them have got some like crispy parts to them. which is great. That adds a lot of flavor. But if you crowd the pan, you're just going to end up steaming them. And then they're just going to kind of turn mushy and not have a lot of like that crisp texture that I think people want.
Mm-hmm.
So really what I just have here is just a variety. So I've got a zucchini, a squash, a red pepper, a green pepper, some broccoli. I think whatever your family loves, choose that and cut it up. And it's really, it's pretty simple. So while I'm chopping, does anybody have any questions?
I'm looking through on my phone because I'm following it on my phone. I love roasting veggies, and so does my girlfriend Reggie is on Reg, and so she says she loves roasting veggies. Sweet potatoes and cauliflower are great. Small plum tomatoes roasted with garlic are awesome. So, when you're sitting it out in the pan, so this is what I'm thinking. Do you have to kind of group them together with how you are, the way that they cook? Like you wouldn't put broccoli with squash on the same one, right? Or how would you group them together differently?
I guess it kind of depends on what you. I understand what you're saying, like the crispness. So like broccoli is going to put a little bit more time than like a red pepper.
Yeah, and I love Brussels sprouts, and I feel like they cook slower than broccoli, right?
Yeah, and potatoes are going to take a little bit longer than some other things, and like sugar snap peas. I mean, I think mushy sugar snap peas are so gross. So I think wanting, like, if you just put those in there for maybe even just 5 minutes to warm them, I think that they're great. But no, that's a great question. So just know, I mean, would it be helpful for me to come up with a guide on which vegetables like cook around the same?
Yeah, I mean, I love all vegetables. I mean, you showed me that food and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like a crudité. And I'm just about ready to like dig in there.
Yeah.
But when you're roasting it, notice that, well, number one, now I'm not going to crowd the pan. I love that you said that because I really try to get as many as possible on the pan. So that I don't have to do it. And I love that you said undercook them as well. I love to use it the next day, like with eggs or whatever, But yeah, I mean, if there was, I guess basically you could tell by the texture if it was thicker, like potatoes, it's obviously going to take longer. Brussels sprouts are a little bit thicker and harder, cauliflower possibly. But yeah, so as you're roasting them, I'm curious as what do you put on there? I know what I put on there, but what do you put on there? You said everybody says your roasted vegetables are really good. So once you get them on the pan, what do you do?
So 90% of the time, what I put on these is just olive oil or avocado oil.
Okay.
Salt, either sea salt or garlic salt, and pepper. And that's it. If I was going to make, I mean, you can add an array of spices and herbs to this and make it take on any sort of profile. But most of the time I make this just to have them be more of like a neutral flavor so that I can use them for all sorts of dishes throughout the week. And I'll change them with different sauces throughout the week. What do you do?
I usually put olive oil on, and I'll either put a little bit of kosher salt and pepper, and that's about it. Sometimes I'll use a garlic oil or something like that. Somebody has a question. Reggie says, do the veggies continue to cook a bit after you take them out of the oven, similar to how some meats will?
Yeah. Yes. Not as much as a meat, but you will get some of that residual cooking because they're sitting on the hot pan still and they're kind of still releasing steam. So yes, so they are going to cook. So that's a great point. So typically what I do is I put them on 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I just kind of look at them and see, because I mean, some days are different for whatever reason, but 10 to 15 minutes, I think is kind of a good standard. For potatoes, you probably need about 20 minutes for most potatoes. Sweet potatoes don't take as long as like a red potato. But yeah, no, that's a great question. Okay.
And then she says, oh yeah, that looks really good. She says, I sometimes add red chili flakes to spice them up a bit. And that she loves to use ground peppercorns for the fresh round pepper or ground pepper flavor, probably.
I love that. I think those are great ideas. And I think just play around with it. I mean, that's what makes cooking so fun. But I think that's also what stresses people out is that they don't know how to play with it. But throw in different spices and herbs. I mean, I'm sure
It's like the easiest thing. I'm always, every time my husband goes to the grocery store, he's like, what do you guys want? I'm like, just get me some veggies, that I
yeah,
can roast.
yeah.
So, talking about this, for people that, I mean, I can literally sit down and eat veggies, but for people who like to just have it as a side, talk about some different options. Like you said, again, putting it with eggs or whatever. Besides that, the very next day, what else do you get to, what else would you use your leftover roasted veggies for? I've actually put it on top of salads too.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. So in the summertime when you can actually grill veggies and get those nice char marks on them, I love to have the combination of greens. So like your normal, like whether it's arugula, romaine, whatever green you choose, and then putting roasted veggies on top of that. And then the heat from the roasted veggies kind of wilts it a little bit and makes it so delicious. But that with a little bit of pesto, if you make a pesto, you can easily turn pesto into a vinaigrette for a salad. Just add a little bit more, whether it be lemon juice or some sort of vinegar with your pesto and your olive oil, and then you've got an awesome salad dressing with your grilled veggies. I mean, yum.
Ooh, okay. And then you also said some sort of pasta as well, maybe like throwing it on pasta. I had never even thought of that. It's so silly because I mean, pasta primavera, whatever,
Yeah.
there's vegetables on that, but I always just think meat and sauce and pasta. And so I don't eat a lot of pasta, but
Yeah.
that's really interesting to put it on top of pasta as well.
Oh yeah. If you want another trick to help get your kiddos to eat some more veggies, if you use regular pasta or spaghetti noodles, you can also spiralize some zucchini noodles in with the spaghetti noodles so that you're not just doing zucchini noodles, because I know not everybody loves that flavor profile, but you're adding in some veggies that way. So, there's also a new product that maybe I shouldn't even say anything, but I'm going to try it in the next coming weeks. But it's essentially a veggie crumble that I'm going to try and add to some pasta to see, what what that might taste like.
Wow, that's super cool. So again, people, those of you who are joining, I keep putting this up because it's actually, she's making me hungry right now. But if you look at her Instagram page, Nourish Nutrition CO, this is what her Instagram page looks like. And she's got such beautiful pictures of the foods that she makes, her kiddos that eat them. I mean, I would eat it if I was her kid. I mean, why wouldn't you? And, she puts the recipes up, but not only that, so go follow her, but not only that, but she started a new group called the Nourished Recipe Collection. And that's something that is also, really cool because she's getting people to share recipes as well. And there we go. I put it up there. But, just to make sure that, trying to galvanize the community together, it's something that, Nicole's doing, and it's amazing. And I love seeing that people are super willing to share recipes, but it's healthy recipes, because the group is called Nourished Recipe Collection. You're not going to get all these like quick 10-minute fast recipes necessarily. I mean, there might be some in there, but we're really thinking about how can you be healthy on the inside, because as we are businesswomen, businessmen that are joining in, we're staying at home, socially distancing, not going out to eat as much. How can you make things more healthy so that you have more energy to do what you need to do? And then also be there for your family at home, right? And so being healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy also means that you have to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of yourself first. A lot of us that are entrepreneurs, we go, 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 and we don't always stop to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. So that's why I wanted Nicole on here, because I love what she does. For those of you who missed her story, I know it was kind of breaking up, and so I had her tell her story twice. So there's two reasons why you should go back and listen to her story and how she started Nourish Nutrition, because it's something that's really important that I wanted her to highlight how simple and easy it is. So those of you who are just joining on now, make sure that you follow Nourish Nutrition CO on Instagram. She's also Nourish Nutrition on Facebook. lots and lots of great recipes, beautiful things. Is there anything else that you were going to do? You were going to show us with your vegetables that you have. I know that we were talking
Yeah.
through roasting vegetables. A lot of people do some different things. Reg came on and said she shared putting chili flakes in there. You know, we normally just salt and pepper and oil, things like that. And then Nicole was talking about how she had some tips about roasting vegetables, not only not to crowd the pan, but to make sure that you undercook them just slightly so that they last longer. And then she also gave us ideas of what to use our roasted vegetables for. But yeah, if there's anything else that you wanted to show us on the vegetables, I wanted to catch everybody up that was coming on right now.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is a high heat for a shorter amount of time will get that crispy, like really good roasted consistency that you want, versus if you do it on a lower temperature for longer time, you're going to get more of that like softer, not necessarily mushy, but just a softer, less texture to your vegetables. So yeah, so just pretty simple. And I would say, I mean, these two, since this whole, coronavirus thing has started, these are my two favorite tips, is to have vegetables on hand to just toss in things, because it's so important to get the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients, all of that, antioxidants in your body, as well as the fiber. I mean, we need that. And then again, snack plate, make your life easier. So you don't have to be, you don't have to make 10 meals a day for your family.
I love that. So Nicole, for people who are interested in maybe reaching out to you, do you do coaching? Do you work with people? How do you work with clients if they wanted to kind of hire you on to help them kind of build their skills and build how they approach, food and just being nutritious and healthy?
Yeah. So I would just say reach out to me via email or Facebook, Instagram, whichever way is easiest for you, and we can chat. I offer a free consult just to kind of go over, what your concerns may be, what I do, and if we're a good fit. And the one thing I would say is that nutrition and health in general, there is no one size fits all approach. And so you will definitely not be getting that from me. You will be getting personalized, individualized attention to meet your goals and your health concerns, and kind of help you from where you are, because everybody is coming from a different place. So whether that be you love to be in the kitchen and you just want to learn how to make healthier foods, or you hate being in the kitchen and cooking terrifies you and you would just rather eat out. I mean, I can help you go to the grocery store. I can come to your place of business and help do a corporate wellness program for your employees. So really, cool. I love helping people with this. It's a true passion of mine. And so I'm happy to help, whether that be on an individual level or in a group setting.
So people that are watching that do have, whether it's corporate or their business, and they want to do it for their staff, would you be able to do it, not necessarily if they were in Colorado, but just, also virtually as well?
There's nothing like being face-to-face with somebody, especially a client, getting to know them, but that's just not the world we currently live in. So I am open to every option and possibility. The virtual world is the reality right now. So I would be happy to do that, and still exploring like cooking class lesson options here too. But I need a little bit more practice.
Well, going live is something totally different, but I think that if you were to work with a business or a corporation and, even do some classes for their staff just to kind of teach people, I think, corporate wellness is huge, right? And just keeping your staff happy and healthy is something that we should all consider being business owners, whoever is tuning in. So reach out to Nicole, and she can at least get you that consult and sit down and see what your needs are. But it sounds like, she's going to be able to work with people on an individual basis. It sounds like at one point she did do some cooking classes, and I think that she's thinking about that again. And then also really think about, making your employees happy and healthy. And so if you want to hire her on as well for your business or corporate, think of her. I mean, you've seen what she does. And this was something very simple that we could do on a live show. But, it's something that you have to think about, just like kids. I know that she talked about kids and getting them involved, but it's the same thing with your businesses. If you get your employees involved, if you get them thinking about their happiness and their wellness, happier, or healthier employees are going to be better for your business. But getting them involved in the process of, like my office, we go grocery shopping and we make a list, and somebody goes out and grocery shops, and we always have food in the office, but it's like different. It's not like donuts that people bring in or things like that,
Yeah.
And so, maybe it's something that you're thinking of providing for your staff or having healthier snacks. It might be something that you can have Nicole just kind of help you out in making those decisions, because again, we're all trying to be a lot more healthier. We're all trying to be, again, not only on the outside, but it starts on the inside. And so I really wanted to reach out to Nicole because I know that what she does is really, really specialized. But she does it because she loves it, and she walked this journey herself. So I just wanted to thank you again for being on here. I'm going to apologize. I know you're not supposed to apologize, but I'm going to apologize for any kind of glitches in the feed. I'm hoping the replay is actually nice and clear, which it usually is. So we'll go back and check on that. But Nicole, thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey and sharing some really cool and yummy looking dishes and snacks and grazing plates and lots of tips. I mean, this was packed full with where you can find what Nicole is doing. And like she said, she's got blogs on her website. Check it out. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Any words of wisdom before we head out?
Gosh, I don't think so. But if there's something that somebody's just not comfortable asking, in the live, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help answer any questions that you may have. And if I'm not the right person for you too, I mean, I'm happy to find you the person that you are looking for to help you with your health journey. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole.
thank
And
you.
I will be back next week, hopefully with no glitches. We'll see. We'll just write it out on our next episode of Just Connect. So thank you guys for joining.
Thanks. Bye.